His greatest victory has just awakened a relentless thirst for revenge. An explosion of blue energy rips through the dark, desolate landscape, tearing the very earth apart, as a piercing beam of light descends from the heavens, striking its target with absolute force. The massive ogre roars in agony, its face contorting with pain as the energy engulfs it, yet its enraged gaze remains locked on the lone figure responsible. There stands the archer, Ian, who executes a graceful flip through the air, dodging the beast's clumsy counterattack with practiced ease. The ogre's colossal fist misses its mark, brutally pulverizing the ground, a futile display of rage. Ian lands, a confident smirk playing on his lips, his eyes glowing with power. For Archer Ian, level 93, this is merely another Tuesday. He holds his ground as the system announces his victory. The ogre is defeated, netting him substantial experience. Yet Ian remains far from satisfied. He muses, just 100,000 more gold than a well-deserved break. Suddenly, his sharp eyes pierce through the swirling dust, catching a new presence, a menacing new threat emerging from the oppressive shadows. He pivots to face it, a hulking silhouette with glowing red eyes, a monstrous form, far more menacing than the ogre he just felled. Two demonic heads, one bald and one with sinister horns, cackle with pure, malicious glee, their red eyes ablaze with predatory hunger. The creature is a two-headed giant, a true monstrosity, towering menacingly over Ian, brandishing a massive spiked club. A bead of sweat traces a path down Ian's cheek. He clenches his teeth, a surge of frustration boiling within him. This wasn't part of the plan. The giant's club descends with terrifying speed, a blur of crushing force aimed at pulverizing the archer into oblivion. The impact shatters the very ground, sending sharp debris hurtling in every direction, yet Ian is already a streak of motion, leaping clear of the crater. He knows deep down that only his haste skill saved him, a critical burst of speed granting a fleeting, crucial edge. However, the skill's timer ticks relentlessly. The system's cold voice echoes a dire warning. 1 minute remaining. He grits his teeth, the urgency searing through him. This beast must fall, and it must fall now. He sprints forward, a fleeting blur, planting a hidden something on the ground directly in the monster's path. His mind races with desperate speed. Only one trap remains. There is absolutely no margin for error. This has to work. The timing must be absolute perfection, a fraction of a second's miscalculation, and he's a dead man. As the monster charges, a whirlwind of destruction, he slides deftly under the club's devastating swing. The two-headed giant thunders past, its colossal foot slamming precisely where he planted his hidden surprise. Brilliant blue energy erupts from the earth, crackling with raw blue electricity as the high-tier stun trap activates. The monstrous giant freezes instantly, utterly stunned for 5 critical agonizing seconds, completely vulnerable. Ian's eyes flash, reflecting the sudden, blinding opportunity. "Got you!" he roars, his entire being narrowing to a single point as an explosive aura gathers around him. He unleashes a torrent of skills simultaneously. Critical hit enhancement, snipe, focus, channeling every last ounce of raw power into his weapon. "This is it!" he bellows, leaping into the air as he launches the ultimate shot, a spiraling arrow of pure, unadulterated destruction. The arrow slams into the giant's chest with devastating force, a direct hit that hurls the massive creature backward. The resulting explosion is colossal, an earth-shattering blast that trembles the very foundations of the wasteland, sending a gargantuan cloud of dust billowing into the sky. As the smoke slowly clears, Ian stands victorious over the fallen beast's colossal body, his mind already calculating the potential loot. "All right," he murmurs, a predatory glint in his eye. "Let's see what treasures this monstrosity dropped." His eyes widen in stunned disbelief. He's hit the absolute jackpot. 2 pieces of the Ogre Warrior set, legendary items so rare it's akin to winning the national lottery. His face flushes crimson with a surge of pure excitement as he realizes there's even more. "Whoa!" he gasps, almost breathless. "And that's not all?" Yet his expression morphs, transforming from unbridled joy to profound, stunned disbelief. He leans in closer, his gaze fixed on the final, shimmering item, a dawning recognition. "Wait, this is..." he whispers, the words catching in his throat. Floating before him is a radiant, diamond-shaped crystal, glowing with an ethereal blue light. The system confirms his astonishing find, Mulan's Crystal, an artifact of legendary status, an item that irrevocably changes everything. This is Kalen, the world's greatest VR game. Released just half a year ago, it already boasts over 10 million concurrent users. Yet, for our hero, the game is more than a mere escape. It is his very way of life, his burgeoning career. Back in the real world, Ian's true identity is Jin Sung, a young man who stands beside his sleek, state-of-the-art VR capsule. He remembers vividly the day he acquired it, using his tuition money and every last cent he'd saved. Everyone around him declared he was absolutely insane. Yet he proved every single one of them wrong. Even though he started 2 months late, he poured his entire being into the game, cultivating an incredibly impressive archer in just 4 months. His archer character is a veritable money-making machine, netting him approximately 200,000 won per hour. He has already amassed millions from this virtual world. However, a significant problem looms. A massive update was just announced. A new region and 3 new classes: the Summoner, the Dark Sorcerer, and the Assassin. This electrifying news has thrown the entire player base into an utter frenzy, but for Jin Sung and his close-knit group of friends, the situation is far more complicated. His friend laments that they simply cannot reset their characters to try the new classes. They've progressed far too extensively to even consider it. Their meticulously crafted plan was simple enough. Just hunt in the new region, farm items, and earn enough for tuition in a single, incredibly lucky run. Yet Mulan's Crystal has just utterly derailed that carefully laid plan, and now Jin Sung finds himself in utter, profound turmoil. Why did I have to find this now? He laments, his voice laced with despair. If only it were sellable, he could command any price he wished. But the crystal is an utterly untradeable item. The only way to utilize it is to reset his entire character, but to discard all that painstaking hard work, all that accumulated wealth. He finds himself completely paralyzed, utterly unsure of his next move. His friend's face, glaring from the phone screen, is a mask of pure, unadulterated shock. You're going to reset your level 93 archer? Are you absolutely kidding me? His friend shouts. His friend's rant continues, his voice practically screaming through the speaker. His character is top ranked in Korea. He's even on the top 1,000 leaderboard, for crying out loud. Jin Sung calmly retorts, acknowledging his friend's point, yet this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to unlock the first hidden class for these brand new roles. His friend attempts to reason with him, trying to ground him, reminding him of other hidden classes that have already been revealed, like the sniper in their own guild. He presses, was the sniper class really that much superior to the standard archer class? Attempting to downplay the immense potential. Jin Sung admits a significant level gap existed, making direct comparison difficult, but it undeniably possessed distinct advantages. Their range is utterly ridiculous, and their single-shot damage is absolutely devastating, though they struggle against large groups of weaker monsters. Exactly, his friend exclaims triumphantly. Just because it's a hidden class doesn't automatically mean it's going to be ridiculously overpowered, you know. I know, Jin Sung replies calmly, but his friend absolutely explodes. You do? Then why are you throwing away your top-tier level 93 archer for it? Jin Sung merely smiles, a determined, knowing glint in his eye. He simply utters his friend's name, Yoo Hyun. Yoo Hyun is momentarily thrown off, completely failing to grasp the relevance of his own name. Huh? He queries, utterly caught off guard by the abrupt shift in topic. Jin Sung points a finger upwards, a knowing smirk spreading across his face. Yep, he affirms, and that's the answer. It's not about being absurdly overpowered, it's about the allure of the new hidden class. He believes it will be super fun. Yoo Hyun lets out a sigh of resignation, but a wry grin spreads across his features. He calls Jin Sung a dumbass, but then urges him, go for it. He gives his friend his full blessing, telling him to give it his absolute best. Jin Sung, his confidence unwavering, replies with a firm, I will. And just like that, with his friend's earnest support, the monumental decision is cast in stone. The sun dramatically sets on his old life as a top-ranked archer. Returning to the vibrant world of Kalen, under a bright blue sky, his journey towards a completely new beginning commences. Jin Sung, now reborn as Ian, spots a portly old man perched amidst a chaotic pile of wares in the middle of a town square. He approaches the eccentric merchant, his long, flowing cape billowing behind him as he steps into the man's view. The old merchant looks up, a hint of surprise in his beady eyes, and asks the young adventurer, what is it you seek? Ian gets straight to the crucial point. "I'm looking for a rebirth potion," he states, his voice resonating with unwavering purpose. A wicked, almost predatory grin spreads across the merchant's face, his single visible eye glowing with an ominous blood-red hue. "You're in luck?" He chuckles, his voice raspy. "You've certainly come to the right place." He produces a vial filled with a sinister, shimmering red liquid, presenting it to Ian. He claims to have just acquired it. Before the merchant can even utter a price, Ian snatches the potion from his grasp, his desperation palpable, almost raw. The old man grabs his arm, his grip surprisingly firm, and issues a grave warning. Once he drinks that, all the immense power he's meticulously gained will vanish forever, with absolutely no turning back. Ian's lips curl into a fiercely determined smile. "That's precisely why," he declares without a flicker of hesitation, "I am going to drink it." Under the ethereal glow of a full moon, he carefully considers his momentous choice. This is, after all, the most expensive rebirth potion money can buy. He sits atop a windswept cliff, clutching the potion, hoping with a desperate gambler's hope that a fortunate roll might grant him even better stats after his rebirth. The potion glows with an intense magical aura, a symbol of both an end and a new beginning. His eyes gleam with fierce, unyielding ambition. With this new fabled class, he is certain he will earn even more wealth than ever before. Without another moment of agonizing hesitation, he downs the entire potion in a single, resolute gulp, the system's cold voice confirming his irreversible, life-altering action. A brilliant, blinding light envelops him as his very being is dramatically rewritten, his immense power and hard-earned stats wiped clean, resetting him to an absolute zero. For days on end, he trains with a relentless, almost manic fervor. Other wide-eyed trainees watch in utter awe, murmuring that they've never witnessed such an intense, driven adventurer. His body courses with raw, surging energy as he swings a training sword, every fiber of his being honed and focused on a singular burning goal, tomorrow's highly anticipated update. The moment has finally arrived. He approaches the grand, shimmering gate of a new era, a portal pulsating with an ethereal purple light, ready to embrace his new beginning. The VR system boots up with a soft hum, an iris scan meticulously confirming his identity. "Mr. Ian," the system's smooth, synthetic voice intones, "welcome to the world of Kalon." He materializes in the bustling starting town, his avatar a ghostly blue, ethereal form at first, already poised to embark on his grand quest. His mind fixates on one thing and one thing only. "All right," he declares with a determined grin. "First, I must find the Summoners Guild." He quickly spots his destination, a quaint, unassuming building tucked away in the city streets. "There it is," he exclaims. Pushing the heavy wooden door open, he calls out, "Anyone here?" Yet the guild hall appears utterly deserted. He steps inside, the vast room eerily silent save for the echo of his own footsteps on the wooden floor. A confident, knowing smile plays on his lips. "No one's here," he muses to himself, his grin widening. "Looks like I'm the first to arrive." He confidently makes his way up the stairs, heading directly towards the room clearly marked as the Summoner Class Change Center. There, seated behind a formidable desk, is a silhouetted figure, none other than Guildmaster Kane, the very person who holds the key to his legendary new future. Ian approaches the imposing desk and states his purpose with resolute clarity. "I wish to convert my class to Summoner," he announces. Guildmaster Kane regards him with a weary, almost resigned expression, warning him that the treacherous path of a summoner is far from an easy one. Ian simply nods, acknowledging his full awareness of the inherent difficulty, yet he believes this class will prove as magnificent as it is challenging. The Guildmaster appears satisfied with his unwavering answer, conceding that he possesses the necessary qualifications to undertake a class change. However, she poses one final crucial question, asking him one last time if he truly wishes to embrace the path of a summoner. Ian doesn't hesitate for a single instant. "Yes, of course," he replies, his voice brimming with conviction. This is the very reason he sacrificed his entire former life. With a flourish, he presents the glowing blue crystal he painstakingly found, Mulan's crystal, the singular catalyst for this entire audacious journey. The Guildmaster's eyes widen dramatically, filled with utter, breathless shock. She recognizes it instantly, the fabled, legendary crystal left behind by the continent's revered hero, Mulan. Ian merely grins, utterly pleased that she comprehends its profound value. He cheekily declares, "It's time to grant me my hidden class." Deeply impressed, the Guildmaster states he is a far more incredible person than she initially perceived, and then cautiously asks if he would consider doing her a crucial favor. She explains, her voice a little softer, that her son recently embraced the summoner class and desperately yearns for a blue-eyed wolf as his very first summon. Her request is simple enough. She wants Ian to venture forth and capture it for her son. This sudden, unexpected quest takes Ian completely by surprise. A blue-eyed wolf is a rare, high-level monster, a formidable foe. He simply cannot fathom why such a powerful beast is part of a beginner-level class change quest. The Guildmaster explains with a slight shrug that she is far too busy and her son far too weak. She offers him 5 precious magic scrolls of binding as aid. She reassures him that the particular wolf on the Ramood Plain is still quite young, so it shouldn't prove too overwhelming for him. A quest window materializes before him, shimmering into existence. Capture the young blue-eyed wolf. The reward, the coveted summoner, Monster Tamer. Class. Ian's eyes instantly blaze with unbridled excitement. "Monster Tamer!" he whispers, recognizing it instantly. It's a hidden class. This is exactly what he had gambled everything for. He accepts without a moment's hesitation, promising to bring the wolf back, no matter the cost. The Guildmaster offers her thanks, expressing her hope for good news. She adds one final, crucial detail. If he fails, he can return for further assistance. This revelation, that the quest is repeatable, washes over Ian as a massive wave of relief. He immediately makes his way to the Trombone Town Training Center to rigorously prepare himself for the formidable task that lies ahead. There, a grizzled old instructor watches intently over the other trainees as they practice their swings against training dummies. Suddenly, with a single devastating blow, one of the training dummies shatters into countless pieces, shocking every single person present into stunned silence. The old instructor shouts, his voice laced with utter disbelief, "Impossible!" He's never, in all his years, witnessed a trainee possess that kind of raw strength before. It is Ian, of course, the source of this astonishing display. A system notification pops up, cheerfully informing him that his flexibility has increased, granting a bonus point to his agility stat. Fully prepared and brimming with renewed determination, he returns to the Guildmaster. He stands ready to face the daunting challenge. He ventures out onto the desolate Ramood Plain, where monsters average around level 10. He muses that this should be manageable. Activating a locator skill, he meticulously scans the vast area. "Alright," he says with a determined grin, "let's find this guy." It doesn't take long at all. A small, unassuming gray wolf with piercing, almost ethereal blue eyes appears perched on a rock. He's found his target. Yet, a quick scan immediately reveals a glaring problem. The wolf is level 20. He wonders incredulously if new players are truly expected to confront a monster twice their own level. He figures hidden class quests must simply be designed to be this difficult. On the bright side, at least he won't have to worry about accidentally killing it in one hit. With his bow expertly drawn, he declares, "Let's get started," and launches an arrow with precision. The arrow strikes the wolf directly in its flank, yet the creature barely flinches, letting out a sharp, angry yelp. The wolf lunges at him with a ferocious snarl, and Ian effortlessly parries the attack with a practiced swing of his glowing bow. He realizes with a sudden, alarming jolt that his attack power is far too high. If he continues like this, he'll undoubtedly kill the wolf before he can even attempt to capture it. Therefore, he decides on a new, far more direct approach. He pulls back his formidable gauntleted fist. A solid, devastating punch lands squarely on the wolf's snout, sending the poor creature reeling backward, tiny tears welling in its blue eyes. The wolf whimpers pitifully, clearly not expecting a fistfight from an adventurer who arrived armed with a bow and arrow. Ian smirks, his eye glowing with a mischievous red light. "Looks like I'm going to have to beat you up first," he declares, revealing that he was quite familiar with using his fists in his younger days. He proceeds to relentlessly pummel the wolf into submission, landing blow after brutal blow until its health bar is critically low. He pulls out one of the precious binding scrolls and bellows, "Bind!" Yet the attempt fails. The wolf simply isn't weakened enough yet. He ponders the precarious situation. One more hit, and the wolf will die. Does he really need to beat it up even more? Seeing the wolf weakly nibbling on some grass to recover health, an evil, almost sadistic grin spreads across his face. "Alright," he declares with a sinister chuckle, "time to get beat up again." The poor wolf looks absolutely terrified, visibly sweating and whimpering as it anticipates the next brutal round of this unconventional taming method. After a considerable amount of persuasion, or rather a relentless pummeling, the wolf is finally weakened enough, and Ian prepares for his decisive final attempt. He raises the glowing scroll high above his head, once again shouting the powerful command, "Bind!" Potent magical energy swirls violently around the exhausted wolf, wrapping it in shimmering, ethereal chains as the scroll takes full effect. Success! The system jubilantly confirms, "You have successfully bound the blue-eyed wolf." He breathes a deep sigh of relief, a triumphant smirk on his face. "Beating them up always works," he muses. He muses that by now, a significant number of users must have already embraced the summoner class. He needs to catch up, and fast. Returning to the bustling guild, Kane greets him with a nod, commenting on his swift return. Ian admits it wasn't an easy request at all. That wolf proved exceptionally stubborn. "But I got it," he triumphantly declares, proudly presenting the sealed scroll, which now pulses with the essence of the captured creature. The guildmaster is utterly speechless. "You've captured the wolf?" she asks, her voice a mere whisper, utterly filled with disbelief. She is absolutely flabbergasted, her jaw hanging open. The very first quest for the monster tamer class is designed to be failed. For him to succeed is simply impossible. Ian, completely oblivious to her profound shock, simply asks if he can now become a monster tamer, but she slowly shakes her head, her expression unreadable. "Sorry?" he queries, a confused, slightly annoyed edge to his voice by this completely unexpected turn of events. But her next words reverberate through the guild hall, instantly changing everything. "Would you like to take on the master's path?" she asks, her eyes wide with an entirely new kind of profound respect. A brand new quest window shimmers into existence. The guildmaster, utterly impressed by his astonishing potential, wants him to embark on a truly special legendary path. He's never encountered a class quest structured quite like this. If he accepts, he can become a taming master. He realizes instantly, a jolt of understanding shooting through him. This must be a far higher level class than the standard monster tamer. He accepts without a single moment of hesitation. A brilliant, ethereal light envelops him as his class is officially, definitively changed. 3 new crucial stats materialize: affinity, taming, and leadership. He is now officially a summoner, a taming master. The entire guild building pulses and glows with a vibrant purple aura, marking the birth of a truly legendary new player in the annals of Kalen. Ian feels an exhilarating surge of new power coursing through his veins, a wicked, triumphant grin spreading across his face. He has become the taming master. He knows exactly what his first objective must be. His eyes are fixed on a legendary prize he first glimpsed long ago. "I'll tame the Crimson Wolf from the trailer first," he declares, his ambition now soaring, knowing no limits. He arrives at a vast, desolate, sun-scorched canyon, the rumored perfect hunting ground for such a legendary beast. Yet, he is not alone. A large, formidable party of players is already engaged, facing off against a magnificent, fiery red wolf. They are attempting to capture it. Ian hangs back in the shadows, a slight annoyance flickering through him that someone beat him to the punch, but decides to observe and learn how they approach this formidable task. The party unleashes a relentless barrage of spells and powerful attacks, striving to weaken the formidable creature. The Crimson Wolf howls in agony as searing flames engulf its magnificent body, its health bar plummeting rapidly. "Its HP is almost 0, one of the warriors bellows excitedly. The party's summoner immediately prepares to make their crucial move. The hooded player raises their scroll high, chanting the binding command to ensnare the weakened beast. A shimmering circle of blue light appears beneath the wolf, yet the creature is far from truly defeated. It lets out a chilling, defiant howl. With a powerful, desperate leap, it violently breaks free from the binding circle, completely nullifying the summoner's attempt at capture. The party descends into utter panic, shouting desperately for someone to intercept it, but it's far too late. The golden opportunity is irrevocably lost. The Crimson Wolf dashes past the stunned players, vanishing into the labyrinthine canyons, leaving the entire party choking in its dust. Ian watches the retreating party with a thoughtful, analytical expression. He may have lost his immediate chance, but he gained a crucial, valuable lesson. Capturing high-tier monsters is proving incredibly difficult, and simply locating them takes an exorbitant amount of time. He decides it would be far more pragmatic to capture any monster he can find first to practice his newfound taming master skills. Driven by the innate investigative nature of a true professional gamer, a compelling new question sparks brilliantly in his mind. He's curious. Just how many wolves can he capture with his current leadership stat? A daring new plan begins to crystallize. He spots a pack of regular gray wolves prowling along a cliffside below him, the absolute perfect test subjects for his experiment. "Let's get started," he declares with a predatory grin, drawing his bow and imbuing an arrow with crackling magical energy. This time, he's not resorting to brute force to beat them into submission. He's going to attempt this the proper way. He deploys a binding scroll on a strategically weakened wolf, and a shimmering magic circle instantly materializes beneath the creature. The system confirms his undeniable success. "That's one," he murmurs, meticulously checking the monster's details on a holographic screen. He's surprised to notice the wolf possesses a distinct personality trait, timid. He never realized monsters could exhibit such detailed personalities. He moves swiftly to the next target, another wolf of the same species, eager to see how it compares. He brings up its stats, eagerly anticipating this one's personality trait. The intricate details prove fascinating. This wolf, though the same level as the last, possesses significantly higher stats. The profound realization dawns on him. Monsters of the same type and level can possess wildly varying stats, transforming each capture into a potential thrilling gamble. Gazing down at the remaining wolves, a brilliant, if slightly insane idea sparks to life in his mind. He grins, a devious, calculating glint in his eye. "I'm going to capture wolves all day today," he declares with fervent resolve. His strategy is deceptively simple. Capture every single wolf, then release all but the one possessing the absolute best stats. His relentless grind has just officially begun. The grind proves utterly relentless, yet it pays off handsomely. A system notification pops up. His affinity stat has increased significantly from the repeated captures, and with it comes a prestigious new title, Wolf Specialist. This unique title grants him the remarkable ability to identify superior wolves without even the need to capture them first. "I got it!" he exclaims triumphantly. He was hoping the skill would grant him immediate access to their detailed stats, but it seems that was asking for a bit too much. Still, it is an undeniable game changer. "Alright, let's see," he murmurs, focusing his nascent energy. He activates the potent new skill, his eyes glowing with an intense light as he casts Analyze. The skill instantly reveals the levels of the entire pack at a mere glance, allowing him to quickly and efficiently assess their potential. His keen gaze locks onto one particular wolf that unmistakably stands out from the rest, its very presence radiating an almost majestic aura. He points a decisive finger, a magical sigil flashing brilliantly before the creature. "This one," he queries, decisively singling out his next target. The wolf responds with a vicious guttural snarl, baring its razor-sharp teeth, clearly not a creature to be trifled with. Yet Ian merely smirks, completely unfazed by the creature's aggression. What are you gonna do, little wolf?" he taunts, a glint in his eye. The beast lunges forward with a furious roar, a blur of fangs and fur, yet Ian effortlessly sidesteps the attack, a confident smirk playing on his lips. He's seen this 1,000 times before. With a swift, practiced smack, he sends the wolf tumbling through the air, a comical yet utterly decisive beatdown. Now that it is properly humbled, he activates his skill once more. "Looks like you know your place now," he declares with a satisfied nod, casting Capture. The magic circle erupts, completely enveloping the defeated creature, and the system instantly confirms his resounding success. Ian pulls up its stats, eager for the revelation. The results are utterly breathtaking. Its stats are not just superior, they are far beyond any wolf he's ever seen. It possesses a valiant personality, and most importantly, it can evolve. "Amazing!" Ian shouts, his eyes wide with unbridled excitement. These stats soar higher than even a level 13 wolf. With his extraordinary prize secured, he dismisses the other mundane wolves. "I don't need all these other wolves," he declares, setting them all free into the wild. He kneels down to his new formidable partner. "Lai," he says, bestowing upon the wolf its very own name. Lai, sensing the pride in the name, lets out a triumphant howl. A system message immediately confirms the name is set. Ian is intrigued by a new stat he's never encountered before, loyalty. The intricate mechanics of this class run far deeper than he ever imagined. "It's time to hunt, Lai," he shouts, and together they charge headfirst into the untamed wilderness, a brand new, unstoppable team poised for battle. Meanwhile, back in the mundane, real world, Ian's friend sits at his desk, a thoughtful frown creasing his brow as he ponders his friend's drastic decision. He remembers Ian declaring a switch to the summoner class and wonders just how it's all going. As he scrolls through the Kalen community forums, his face scrunches in pure confusion. "What's up with all these post titles?" he mutters to himself. He clicks through the threads, desperately trying to gauge the community's heated reaction to the newly introduced class. The general consensus is disastrous. Players are universally complaining that the summoner class is nothing more than a total joke. He reads through the furious posts, his expression souring further with each word. He simply cannot believe Jin Sung reset his top-tier character for this mockery. With a heavy sigh, he leans back, a deep wave of worry washing over him. At this rate, it might take his friend an eternity to even reach level 20 and rejoin their guild. He crosses his arms, a chilling sense of unease settling deep within him, utterly unaware of the hidden, game-breaking power Ian has already unlocked. Back in Kylan, the hunt is on. Ian and Lai traverse the desolate canyons, their first true test looming before them. Ian draws his bow, his focus absolute as he meticulously lines up a shot on a nearby red fox. "Lai, go in after my arrow hits," he commands, giving a precise order. "Do not attack first." As he prepares to loose, a powerful skill activates, Wind's Blessing, dramatically increasing his agility. The arrow surges forth in a blinding flash of red light, a perfect, powerful shot. It strikes the fox true, staggering the creature just as Lai charges in like a phantom from the side. Lai lets out a low, menacing growl, its eyes glowing with unbridled predatory intent. Following its master's unwavering command, the wolf closes the distance in a mere heartbeat, a lethal blur of gray fur and razor-sharp fangs. A ferocious roar rips through the air as Lai prepares to savagely tear into its helpless prey. The wolf clamps its powerful jaws onto the fox's neck, a sickening crunch echoing ominously through the canyon. It thrashes the smaller creature back and forth relentlessly, a whirlwind of brutal primal force. A low growl rumbles deep in Lai's chest, the intoxicating thrill of the hunt coursing wildly through its veins. Ian watches from a safe distance, bow held steady at the ready, providing crucial cover as his loyal companion dominates the fight. His level and stats are lower than the red fox's, he observes with a knowing smirk, but he rushes in without any fear. Is it because of his personality? Deeply impressed, he draws his bow again, fully prepared to support his fearless partner. "Alright, you're doing good, Lai." Lai lets out another determined growl, utterly refusing to back down against its stronger opponent. With a final, vicious bite, Lai pins the red fox to the ground, decisively securing their hard-won victory. The system confirms the kill. They've both received 265 EXP, a job exceptionally well done. Ian analyzes the results, a strategic gleam in his eyes. "So our EXP is split in half," he muses aloud. "I'd better get Lai up to at least level 15 as fast as possible." He activates a new skill, Novice Training. In a cute, almost chibi-style interaction, he asks for Lai's paw, much to the wolf's utter confusion. Next, he plays a simple game of fetch. Lai seems to think it's a bit silly, yet goes along with it anyway, a playful spark in its eyes. Finally, he uses first aid, clumsily wrapping Lai in bandages. The training might appear utterly ridiculous to an outsider, but it is having a profound, unseen effect. And just like that, Lai is surrounded by a brilliant blue aura. The wolf has achieved level 15, its growth accelerating rapidly. "Done," Ian exclaims, looking at his companion, who has now grown to an impressive, towering size, easily dwarfing him. Lai's gaze is sharper, its presence far more intimidating, a true alpha predator in the making. Ian is ecstatic, but a minor downside registers. "Leveling is slower than I thought," he admits with a slight sigh. This is, of course, because the EXP is split with his summon, but as Lai looks on proudly, Ian cannot help but grin. "But it's so fun training Lai." He lovingly scratches the giant wolf's head. He becomes so much stronger every single time he levels up. With Lai now a formidable powerhouse, they venture into a new hunting ground, one teeming with terrifying black bears. A massive bear with glowing, malevolent eyes turns directly towards them, letting out a deep, guttural growl that vibrates through the forest. Ian pulls up his status screen. All that relentless grinding has truly paid off. He's learned 2 powerful new skills. Grinding really is the best, he says with immense satisfaction. The first skill is a buff, always a useful addition to his arsenal. But the second one, Novice Tactics, immediately seizes his attention. A brilliant, audacious idea instantly forms in his mind. He looks down at the bears casually roaming below. I might actually be able to capture a bear, he muses, a sly, confident grin spreading across his face. He immediately puts his daring theory to the test, casting Capture on one of the colossal bears. It works flawlessly. My leadership stat has increased a lot thanks to Novice Tactics, he realizes with a triumphant surge of understanding. He brings up the bear's stats to compare them to Lai's, but the result is nothing short of shocking. The level 38 bear is utterly pathetic next to his level 15 Lai. The difference in raw power is absolutely staggering. He also notices the crucial "can evolve" tag on Lai's profile. Deciding the bear is completely useless, he releases it without hesitation. Patting his summon, who is now glowing with spiritual energy, he says, "Had a good rest, Lai. It's time to hunt." He activates his arsenal of buffs, Wind's Blessing, and the potent new Barbarian Warrior's Blessing. He points decisively at their target. Lai, get that bear's attention. Lai rockets forward, a mere blur of speed and sheer power, closing the distance on the massive bear in an instant. The 2 beasts collide in a ferocious impact, a brutal battle of tooth and claw erupting violently in the forest. Lai dodges and weaves with supernatural grace, landing precise, crippling blows, completely outmaneuvering its larger, slower opponent. Ian watches with immense pride. The novice training skill is a total game changer, allowing Lai to perfectly understand his complex combat strategies. With a final, brutal lunge, Lai sinks its fangs deep into the bear's throat, ending the fight decisively and mercilessly. The mighty bear collapses to the ground, utterly defeated. Ian and Lai stand victorious over their fallen prey. Ian clenches his fist, practically vibrating with excitement. Alright, this partnership is proving more powerful than he ever could have dreamed. Lai lets out a happy, triumphant howl, and Ian gives his partner an encouraging pat on its massive head. "Yeah, keep growing. Good boy," he says, a genuine, undeniable bond forming between summoner and summon. But even in victory, he's thinking strategically. Leveling through hunting alone is becoming too slow. He urgently needs to start tackling quests. With a solid plan firmly in mind, he logs out for the day, dissolving into a shimmering stream of data. Being a top-tier gamer demands serious, meticulous planning. Back in his room, Jin Sung dries his hair after a refreshing shower, ready to unwind after a long day. I should check out the discussion board before I head to bed, he decides, walking casually over to his computer. A cynical smile plays on his lips as he sits down. I bet there's some loser blowing his horn in the community. He logs on and immediately sees a flood of overwhelmingly negative posts. Summoner is a joke. Getting EXP is so damn slow. He acknowledges that leveling is indeed slow, but the sheer amount of whining is absolutely ridiculous. He starts looking for more substantive feedback, searching for actual insights. Are there any reviews from anyone who reached past level 15? He wonders aloud. That, he believes, is where the class should truly begin to shine. But there's nothing. He's already level 20, yet he cannot find a single player who's made it past level 15. The class is truly that unpopular, that misunderstood. He finally discovers a post from a level 13 summoner proudly showing off their skills with a Crimson Wolf. Ian compares their skills to his own. Capture, Wind's Blessing, First Aid, they're all identical, but then he spots one crucial skill he doesn't possess. The other summoner praises this skill, explaining that it prevents EXP from being split, making leveling up incredibly fast. Jin Sung scoffs at the very idea, a look of disdain on his face. Why would anyone want a summon that can't level up alongside you? That defeats the entire purpose. He leans back in his chair, completely unimpressed. He doesn't have that skill, and he certainly doesn't desire it. This moment solidifies his suspicion. The regular summoner class is fundamentally, irreconcilably different from his hidden taming master class. He crosses his legs, a look of supreme confidence spreading across his face. He recalls the invaluable novice training skill. It all clicks into place with a blinding flash of insight. A taming master possesses fewer personal combat skills, but they wield the unique game-changing ability to make their summon exponentially stronger. Which means I'm training my character correctly, he declares, a triumphant grin spreading uncontrollably across his face. With his unorthodox strategy validated, he stands up, a formidable new goal blazing in his mind. Might be a good idea to try capturing a rare or unique monster tomorrow. Night falls swiftly outside, yet for a dedicated gamer like him, the day is far from over. He gazes at his VR headset, the K-Lan logo gleaming enticingly in the dim light. The grind is calling to him. His eyes burn with fierce determination. I'll get Lai up to level 20 before sunrise, he vows, slipping the headset on ready for an all-nighter. Back in the lush, vibrant forest of K-Lan, he greets his loyal companion. Alright Lai, let's do this! He immediately activates his full arsenal of buffs. Wind's Blessing, Berserker Warrior's Blessing, and Novice Training. They are ready for anything, an unstoppable duo. A brand new skill activates, Find Weakness. As Lai charges a colossal bear, Ian fires a glowing arrow that strikes a critical vulnerable point. The bear roars in pure agony, a massive chunk of its health vanishing in an instant from the devastating critical hit. Lai pounces on the weakened beast, a whirlwind of perfectly coordinated fury. The battle is brutally over in mere seconds. They take down another moon bear with terrifying unmatched efficiency. The system confirms the kill, granting them a huge chunk of experience. Ian is in utter disbelief. So quick! I hunted here when I was about level 35 as an archer. My hunting speed is much faster than back then. He and Lai move as a single, unstoppable unit, clearing the forest of bears at a blistering, unprecedented pace. They are a perfectly synchronized duo, a living testament to their rigorous training and flawless teamwork. But then, Ian spots something entirely different, a bear that stands apart from the others. It's impossibly larger, radiating a fearsome, almost suffocating aura. His eyes glow with fierce excitement as he analyzes the new target. It's a unique monster, a jet black moon bear. Hell yeah, he shouts, a greedy glint in his eyes. A unique monster. Sick. He immediately kneels, a sly smirk on his face, wondering if he can capture such a magnificent rare beast. But the system delivers crushing bad news. His leadership stat is currently too low to capture it. Ah shit, he grumbles, genuinely annoyed by the setback. He's not one to surrender easily. Damn, next time I'm in town, I'm gonna stock up on magic scrolls of binding, he mutters, leaping away to create vital distance. If he cannot capture it, he'll simply have to kill it. He draws his bow, unleashing a powerful, glowing shot. The glowing arrow strikes the giant bear square in the chest, making it roar with a primal, enraged fury. The attack immediately draws the creature's full, undivided attention, allowing Lai to flank it expertly from behind. Lai lets out a blood-curdling howl, its eyes glowing with raw, untamed power as it prepares for an all-out assault. The wolf transforms into a demonic blur, its body crackling with fierce energy as it lunges at the colossal bear. Ian watches with grim satisfaction. A level 38 monster is no longer a problem, not when Lai fights with such unparalleled skill. The bear swings its massive paws in slow motion, but Lai is too fast, dodging every ponderous blow with effortless ease. Its eyes blaze with intense focus as it prepares to deliver the final decisive strike. Lai sinks its fangs deep into the unique monster's throat, a devastating and brutal finishing move. As the giant bear falls with a thunderous crash, a wave of potent energy envelops Ian. Alright, level 20, he screams in a triumphant roar. He proudly pats his massive companion. The game truly begins at level 20, unlocking prestigious guilds, dangerous dungeons, and epic empire quests. With the grueling hard part successfully completed, he checks his inventory to see what magnificent loot the unique monster dropped. A particular item instantly catches his keen eye. Oh, I've never seen this item before, he says, bringing it up on his screen. He uses an identification scroll, casting appraise on the mysterious necklace he just acquired. The item glows with a magnificent ethereal purple light, instantly revealing itself to be an incredibly rare and powerful piece of gear. This is way better, he exclaims, absolutely thrilled. My first good loot since resetting. With his new gear successfully sorted, he turns his eager attention to Lai's stats, checking how much they've dramatically increased. He's utterly shocked by what he sees. The stat increases appear completely random, defying all logic. Do monsters become exponentially stronger as they level up? He wonders, a puzzled frown on his face. No, that cannot be right. There's no discernible pattern to the growth rate. Surely the developers wouldn't make it purely random, would they? As Lai pants happily beside him, Ian is fiercely determined to solve this perplexing mystery. He's going to find out exactly what's going on. And then it hits him like a bolt of lightning, a sudden brilliant flash of revelation. "This is it," he shouts, his eyes wide with triumphant understanding. "Potential!" He pulls up Lai's stats once more, his finger hovering over the screen. The secret is in the potential stat. The novice training skill increased Lai's potential. Every 10 points of potential dramatically increases the growth rate of all stats. "I knew it," he says, pumping his fist in exhilaration. The novice training skill is broken. It all makes perfect sense now. His hidden class possesses its own unique, incredibly overpowered skills. All monsters, it turns out, have a hidden potential stat that ultimately determines their growth. He pulls up his own skill tree, his mind racing with possibilities. He's going to spend all his remaining skill points on maxing out training no matter the cost. He feels a rush of profound satisfaction. Lai's potential is at 94 right now, he calculates, a confident smile on his face. I should be able to get it to 100 soon, making him truly unstoppable. But he spent nearly an hour just figuring this out. He needs to immediately get back to the relentless grind. He logs out and grabs a sandwich, his mind still buzzing with the electrifying discovery. He chuckles to himself, a wry smile playing on his lips. If he put this much effort into studying, he'd probably be a lawyer or a doctor by now. But there's no point in dwelling on such thoughts. His eyes drift to a video playing idly on his monitor. "Oh, a video of the Dark Sorcerer," he says, intrigued by another of the game's incredibly rare classes. He watches the sorcerer summon an entire army of skeletal warriors. "The skeletons are kinda cute," he remarks offhandedly, entirely unaware of the storm brewing. Suddenly, his phone starts ringing, startling him violently. "Huh? I don't have anyone who'd call me." He picks it up, seeing an unknown number flashing ominously on the screen. Cautiously, he answers, a knot forming in his stomach. "Hello?" A woman's voice on the other end asks if she's speaking to Mr. Jin Sung. She introduces herself as Lee Ji-hyun, a teaching assistant from his university's virtual reality department. She informs him, her voice formal and grave, that Professor Lee Jin-wook has specifically asked her to call him. Jin Sung's blood runs ice cold. He asks why, his voice barely a whisper, and she replies, her words a death knell. "I believe it's because of your grades." The words hit him like a physical blow, a monstrous weight crushing his chest. A blinding spotlight of pure dread illuminates him as the terrible, undeniable reality of his academic neglect crashes down. He asks, desperation creeping into his voice, what would happen if he just didn't call the professor? The assistant's reply is a chilling death sentence. The professor explicitly said he'll mail his grades to his home address, and not his private flat. His eyes spin wildly in his head, a horrifying realization dawning. If his dad sees his grades, he has a horrifying, vivid vision of his father, looking like an enraged Darth Vader, uttering the most dreaded words. "I am disappointed in you, son." The shame, he knows, would be utterly unbearable. He grits his teeth so hard they ache, his hand trembling uncontrollably. He has no choice. He has to make the call. He finds the professor's number, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm in his chest, and dials, bracing himself for the inevitable. The professor answers, his voice dripping with unmistakable disapproval. "You really don't know?" he asks, cutting through Jin Sung's feeble attempt to feign ignorance. "Is it because of my grades?" Jin Sung squeaks, his voice tight with fear. The professor confirms it, then coldly asks why he's not participating in any department activities and is already facing academic probation. Jin Sung's mind spirals into pure panic. Academic probation is reserved for students with 3 Fs, a mark of ultimate failure. "Correct," the professor says coolly from his office, the words like ice. "So I was thinking of giving you that 3rd F. Jin Sung explodes with silent internal rage. "He's threatening me. What the hell does he want from me?" He forces himself to calm down, desperately trying to sound respectful, even contrite. The professor repeats his question. Why has he been skipping all his department activities? He cannot simply admit he was busy playing games. He has to spin this to craft a believable, albeit outrageous narrative. He comes up with a brilliant, if utterly shameless, excuse. He explains with feigned passion that he chose the VR major because he deeply admires its potential, and that Kalen represents the absolute pinnacle of that technology. Therefore, he's been bearding the lion in his den by playing it non-stop as a form of immersive study. The professor is utterly unimpressed, his voice razor sharp. "So what is your level?" he asks, cutting straight through the transparent nonsense. Jin Sung freezes, cold sweat trickling down his back. If only he hadn't reset. This is the worst possible, most agonizing timing imaginable. He stammers, painfully explaining that he was level 93, but he recently reset and is now only level 20. The professor lets out a harsh, disbelieving laugh, utterly unconvinced. "Do you take me for a fool?" Cornered and desperate, Jin Sung makes a bold, audacious move. He proposes an insane bet, a gamble to prove he's speaking the absolute truth. The professor listens intently as Jin Sung lays out his outrageous proposal. He will reach level 93 before the next semester starts again. If he can catapult his level 20 character all the way to 93 in just a couple of short months, it would undeniably prove he was telling the truth about his original high level. The professor is intrigued, a spark of challenge in his eyes. He agrees to the bet. If Jin Sung succeeds, he will not face academic probation. Jin Sung nervously agrees, also promising to participate diligently in all department activities. But then the professor adds a thrilling twist. If Jin Sung wins the bet, he will receive an A+ for all his classes, regardless of attendance. Though he thinks to himself there's absolutely no way the boy will succeed. Jin Sung's eyes gleam with a manic, determined light. "Do you promise to keep your word?" "Thank you, sir," he shouts, a surge of adrenaline coursing through him as he hangs up the phone. "I'll give everything I've got. This is amazing." He's not just playing for mere fun anymore. His entire academic future hangs precariously on the line. He dives back into his VR headset, renewed purpose driving him. He materializes back in Keilan, a torrent of shimmering blue data solidifying around him and his powerful companion. He looks at Lai with a new burning fire in his eyes. A monumental amount is riding on this challenge. "We're gonna need to work even harder," he tells his faithful partner, a determined, unwavering smile etched on his face. He looks up at the digital sky, a wry thought crossing his mind. His original plan was to hit his old level before the break was even over anyway. And now, not only has he miraculously avoided probation, but he has an unprecedented chance to earn straight A's without ever attending a single class. A huge, confident grin spreads across his face. "I can do this for sure." Fueled by this newfound confidence, and with his academic future secured, he steps back into the bustling city streets. First things first, he walks into a large, imposing building and confidently approaches the counter. He's here to join a guild. The clerk confirms he's reached the required level 20. "Which guild would you like to apply to?" Ian smirks, radiating unshakable confidence. "The Lotus Guild." The man visibly sweats, explaining their preferred level for applicants is 60. He warns Ian, his voice laced with doubt, that he probably won't be accepted. "Do you still want to proceed?" "Yes," Ian says without a hint of hesitation or doubt. He thinks to himself that it won't matter in the slightest. He's best friends with the guild leader and incredibly close with all the main members. The clerk sighs, defeated, and processes the request. He informs Ian that he'll be registered as soon as the guildmaster accepts his application. Ian immediately pulls up a message window. Should he just PM his friend to accept the request directly? But he sees that his friend is currently offline. "Oh well," he shrugs casually. "It's not like I'm in a rush. I know it'll get accepted eventually." Next up, the auction house. He dissolves into a stream of shimmering data and teleports away, rematerializing in a grand, opulent hall, a wide grin stretching across his face. This is the unique perk of being a wealthy beginner. He's going to revamp all his gear, equipping the absolute best items he can possibly wield. He understands that the summoner class doesn't receive bonus combat stats directly, but instead gains boosts to crucial areas like taming. This means he'll be depending on his summons more and more, making their power paramount. So, he wonders if there's anything that will dramatically increase his summon stats. Something enchanted with a potent buff, perhaps? His eyes meticulously scan the vast array of wares. His eyes suddenly widen, a gasp catching in his throat. He's found something extraordinary. Amazing. I'm buying this right away, he exclaims, his heart pounding. He instantly purchases Mother Nature's headband for a cool, hefty sum of 150,000 gold. As the item materializes in his hands, a brilliant thought strikes him. Maybe all items bearing the Mother Nature's tag are specifically designed for the summoner class. He quickly runs an advanced search for Mother Nature's items, and his eyes light up, glowing with excitement. Oh, there's more! But a bit of a dilemma presents itself. He finds a staff, yet he currently uses a bow. He ponders for a critical moment, weighing his options, then makes a firm decision. I'll buy it. I can't keep using the bow forever. A brilliant blue staff materializes in his hand, humming with power. It's a bit early, he thinks, to switch weapon types, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to start getting accustomed to a completely new combat style. It feels a little weird, almost alien, holding a staff, but he knows he'll manage. He steps outside and immediately casts his summon skill. Lai appears in a dazzling flash of spiritual energy. Ian remembers his training skill functions even within towns, so he should use it whenever it's off cooldown, maximizing efficiency. Alright, time to go find some quests, he declares, a massive, determined grin on his face as he and his faithful partner prepare to move out, ready for anything. As they confidently walk through the sparkling city streets, other players begin to notice them. Hey, look, that guy's a summoner, whispers ripple through the crowd. The whispers follow them like a shadow. He's using a wolf, so he must be low-leveled. Everyone has heard that leveling up as a summoner is ridiculously slow, a joke of a class. Ian completely ignores the chatter, his eyes fixed firmly on his next grand goal. He's decided to take the Goblin Encampment Subjugation quest. The experience reward is impressively doubled. He spots his target up ahead. There's the quest NPC, he murmurs. He approaches the man, a familiar face named Raphael. Long time no see, Raphael, Ian says, a hint of desperation in his voice. He hopes against hope that his affinity with the NPC didn't get entirely wiped out after his character reset, a crucial element for future quests. His fate hangs in the balance. Raphael turns, a smile spreading across his face. Oh, look who it is. Hello, Ian. Instantly, a wave of profound relief washes over our hero. His affinity is miraculously intact. Without wasting a moment, Ian dives straight into business, asking if the goblin issues have escalated. Raphael sighs, a weary confirmation that a nearby encampment has been a persistent nuisance. Raphael reveals their own subjugation team proved insufficient, prompting him to ask if Ian knows any capable mercenaries. Ian's lips twitch into a confident grin, offering to handle the entire problem himself. Raphael agrees, but sagely suggests he gathers more people. Then, a system notification flashes. He's received the quest, but an immediate realization strikes him. He'd completely forgotten the crucial detail. Oh right, this is a party quest, he mutters, pulling up his friends list. A flicker of frustration crosses his face. Who could he possibly invite? He seriously doubts any level 40 newbies exist within his own guild. Yet, Raphael offers a preliminary task. Eliminate the goblin scouts from the encampment first. Sure I will, Ian affirms, accepting the solo quest. It's frustrating to make the trip twice, but he understands he has no other option. Immediately, he pulls up his contacts, checking for his guildmate, Hearse. He's online. It's time to reach out for assistance. He sends a quick message. Hey, is there anyone around level 40 in our guild? Hearse replies instantly, a puzzled tone evident. Huh? Level 40? No. Why? Just as he expected, Ian decides to try the main guild chat instead. After all, finding a mutual acquaintance is always preferable to recruiting a complete stranger. Just as he opens the chat, another message from Hearse flashes across his screen. 40? Why are you looking for a level 40? Ian pauses, a strategic mind at work. A thought strikes him. Will it puzzle everyone if he, a supposed high-level player, admits he's undertaking a low-level goblin quest? He needs to craft a careful excuse. He types out his meticulously crafted excuse. I'm level 20, but I've acquired a truly overpowered summon. I believe I can handle the encampment quest with ease. He'll carry me through it. The guild chat explodes with activity. Cloven exclaims that Ian even has luck on his side, while Fiolan asserts it explains his meteoric rise to level 20. Suddenly, a guildmate named Carwin messages him. Carwin knows a friend who's about level 45. Ian's eyes light up with a spark of hope, and he immediately asks for an introduction. But there's a catch. Carwin explains she's an artisan class, meaning her combat skills are utterly deficient. Ian doesn't hesitate for a second. It's fine. Tell her to contact me as soon as she logs in. Carwin remains confused, but Ian insists with unwavering certainty. He simply needs someone to fill the party's headcount. He genuinely couldn't care less about their combat prowess. He closes the chat window. While catching up with guildmates is enjoyable, it pales in comparison to the thrill of hunting and making tangible progress. He's absolutely determined to finish this preliminary quest before Carwin even gets back to him. With renewed vigor surging through his veins, he charges out into the wilderness. He arrives at a lush area with a cascading waterfall, and there he spots his first targets, a formidable pack of level 30 monsters known as Corcoons. They are powerful felines, sleek, deadly, and radiating raw danger. A captivating thought crosses Ian's mind. Having a Corcoon would also be pretty sick, he muses. He glances at Lai. This guy Lai, he just lacks a bit in coolness. Suddenly, Lai stops dead in his tracks, abruptly pulling on the staff Ian uses as a makeshift leash. Ian is momentarily bewildered. Then, a horrifying thought dawns on him, chilling him to the bone. My thoughts aren't actually shared with him, are they? He quickly tries to backtrack, a desperate attempt to salvage the situation. Hey, Lai, you know how much I care about you, right? He reaches out a hesitant hand. But Lai just stares ahead, ignoring him completely. The wolf gives him the silent treatment, his eyes narrowed in what looks like pure, unadulterated annoyance. Ian starts to sweat profusely. Is Lai actually upset? This AI is far more advanced than he ever imagined. Just as panic begins to set in, a brilliant blue aura erupts from Lai's body, swirling around him like a raging vortex. Lai? Ian is utterly bewildered. What in the world is happening? Then a look of dawning realization spreads like wildfire across his face. Wait, is this? Red lightning crackles violently around Lai's form as the system announces the impossible in a thunderous declaration, evolving. Finally, he's finally evolving. A manic, triumphant grin splits Ian's face. He was just about to ask what the condition for evolution even was. The system interface flashes the answer before his eyes. Potential. Lai's potential reached 100. He knows Lai's appearance should change dramatically after this evolution. A greedy, ambitious thought surges into his mind. It'd be absolutely perfect if he became bigger, so that I could ride him. The energy around Lai intensifies dramatically, expanding outwards with incredible force. A massive pillar of raw, swirling red and blue light shoots into the sky, an undeniable beacon of pure, unrestrained power. When the blinding light finally fades, a majestic new form stands in its place. Lai lets out a triumphant howl, his body completely transformed. A system notification flashes, and Ian's face splits into a wide ear-to-ear grin. The message declares, Wolf Lai has evolved into a magnificent blood-red maned wolf. He's bigger, sleeker, with a magnificent mane the color of blazing fire. Ha 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 ha. Ian throws his hands up in sheer unbridled joy. His partner is now a truly majestic beast, infinitely cooler than any mere Corcoon. Lai turns to him, and the size difference is absolutely staggering. The wolf's head is now almost as tall as Ian himself. Lai, I love you, Ian shouts with pure exhilaration, immediately pulling up his partner's brand new status window. He stares in utter disbelief. Its tier changed from normal to rare, and the system indicates it can still evolve further. He clenches his fist in pure triumph. Summoner is an overpowered class. He is absolutely certain of it now, a fierce conviction burning in his eyes. He turns to his magnificent new partner, all previous thoughts about Corcoons completely forgotten. Forget about Corcoons. I don't need one, even if it came in 100 trucks. My Lai is simply the best. Lai seems to agree, nudging him affectionately. Now for the most crucial question. Lai, do you think you can walk with me on your back? Lai lets out a low, rumbling growl and immediately crouches down, offering his broad back. It seems he understands his master perfectly. Ian vaults onto Lai's back, a triumphant grin splitting his face as he sits astride the powerful wolf, ready to ride into any battle. Oh, Lai, run, he yells, and they explode forward like a cannonball, a blur of red and gray fur kicking up a massive cloud of dust in their wake. Lai's massive paws pound the earth, each thunderous step a testament to his newfound power and incredible speed. They quickly arrive at their destination, the desolate, rocky entrance to Somor's Valley. The air is biting cold, and the entire place gives off an ominous, unsettling aura. Ian shivers slightly despite himself. He complains aloud that Kalen made these unnecessary features way too realistic, a slight grumble escaping his lips. He leans down to his majestic partner. Was the quest to kill 10 goblin scouts, he confirms, steeling himself for the imminent hunt. Lai even evolved to become this cool, I can't simply let this opportunity pass. Lai, let's play to our heart's content. He raises his hand and potent magical energy begins to swirl around him. A torrent of powerful buffs immediately engulfs his familiar. Wind's Blessing increases their dexterity by an astonishing 37%, and Barbarian's Blessing increases their attack by a staggering 66%. They round a corner and come face to face with the enemy, a grotesque group of ugly, club-wielding goblins. Ian smirks confidently. With all these potent buffs, Lai will undoubtedly be stronger than any of these measly goblins. He knows with absolute certainty that his familiar's combat AI is incomparably stronger than these mere normal mobs. And Lai even possesses 2 inherent passive abilities. This isn't a fight, this is going to be an absolute slaughter. But he can never be too careful. He activates one last crucial skill, Weakness. Sensing engulfs Lai, dramatically increasing accuracy, critical strike chance, and adding a massive, devastating 91% damage bonus on weak points. With every possible advantage now activated, Lai lets out a blood-curdling roar, his fangs bared and glowing with a sinister crimson light. The goblins freeze in absolute terror, their eyes wide with fear. "Cur! Wolf! A crimson wolf!" one shrieks, barely able to form the words. "A wolf is attacking!" another yells in pure panic. It's already too late. Lai lunges, a red and gray blur of devastating death. A critical hit notification flashes across Ian's screen as Lai slams into the helpless goblin scouts. One goblin is instantly afflicted with a horrific bleeding effect, its health draining away at a terrifying, unstoppable rate. Before it can even scream, it collapses and dies. Ian's eyes are wide with shock, bordering on disbelief. What is this power? How can a level 40 monster die in a single hit? Lai throws his massive head back and lets out a victorious, chilling howl that echoes through the valley. The remaining goblins shriek in absolute panic, their meager courage completely shattered by the sight. One of them, in a desperate act of defiance, manages a lucky shot, clubbing Lai forcefully on the side. The majestic wolf cries out as he loses a significant chunk of health. But the pain only fuels Lai's monstrous rage. His eyes narrow into dangerous slits of pure, unadulterated fury. Lai bites down on the goblin with savage force and a new notification flashes. 15% of the damage is instantly restored as health. He's healing himself. That's right, Ian cheers, his voice ringing with excitement. The passive lifesteal skill is working absolutely perfectly. Lai becomes a whirlwind of pure destruction, tearing through the goblins one by one, each devastating hit restoring a crucial portion of his health. The goblins are completely helpless, their numbers dwindling rapidly with every passing second. They are utterly, irrevocably terrified. Lai moves with a terrifying, predatory grace, a blur of motion as he pounces on his next helpless victim. With a final, devastating critical strike, the last goblin is utterly obliterated, and Lai restores a massive 523 health points. Ian is simply stunned. He stares at his familiar in absolute awe, speechless. Lai, you... He jumps down from Lai's back, a huge, triumphant smile plastered across his face. Thanks for the carry, pal. The quest is already completed. He gives his partner a massive, heartfelt hug, and the ferocious beast actually seems to blush, nuzzling affectionately against him. Okay, Lai, let's go again. With the preliminary quest completed, it's time to find even more prey. While Lai goes on an absolute rampage against a new group of hapless goblins, Ian leisurely leans back against a tree, pulling up his message window with ease. He's practically AFK farming. His familiar is so utterly overpowered, Ian doesn't even need to participate in the carnage. A message from Carwin finally comes through. Are you online? Can we talk now? Ian calls his partner back. Lai, that's enough. Come over here. Lai dutifully trots over, a dead goblin still firmly clamped in his powerful jaws. He quickly replies to the message. Carwin confirms that his friend Heron is online and available for the quest. Ian gets her username. But Carwin is still incredibly worried. Will everything really be fine? You should expect her combat abilities to be absolutely zero. Ian just smirks, an amused glint in his eye. Carwin truly doesn't know him well at all. He boasts that he was just soloing the formidable Somer Valley. His guildmate is in utter disbelief, convinced Ian must be cheating or exploiting a bug. Ian calmly reassures him, then makes an audacious, almost arrogant claim. I'll be at level 100 in 2 months. Just you wait. He stands up, his gaze firm and resolute. The bet with the professor might actually benefit him far more than he initially thought. He sends a message to Heron asking for her location. She's in Lucane Village at the smithy. Perfect! He tells her he'll arrive in 10 minutes. He makes his way through the bustling village, trying to recall the exact route to the smithy. He rounds a corner and immediately spots a solitary figure leaning casually against a wall. Ah, it must be her. He sees her from behind, a girl with a distinct purple hood and striking gray hair tied into neat pigtails. He approaches, a polite greeting on his lips. Hello, I'm Ian. She turns around with a bright, welcoming smile. Hi, I'm Heron. I've heard quite a lot about you from Gawain. Ian is a bit surprised. Are you Gawain's friend? He asks, genuinely curious. No, not a friend, she says, putting a thoughtful finger to her chin. I'm more like an older sister to him. They quickly confirm they are both ready to embark on the quest. Heron then asks if there's a particular reason he chose this specific Goblin Camp quest. He explains that completing this quest is essential to unlock a follow-up quest from none other than Duke Trippin's chef. Heron looks utterly confused. A quest from a chef? What peculiar kind of quest could that possibly be? Ian suddenly remembers what Carwin told him. Her production class! A knowing smile spreads across his face. I heard about it from Gawain, he says, that your production class is a chef. She beams, her face lighting up. Yes, I'm a culinary major even in the real world. Ian notes that production classes can be incredibly tough, but her real-world skills must surely make it easier. She agrees enthusiastically, adding that she truly enjoys it. It seems that in Kalen, real-world talents can often significantly enhance production classes. As they walk, he remarks that she's the very first chef he's encountered in the game. He turns to her with a hopeful, almost childish grin. Will I be able to eat one of your delicious dishes when I get a chance? Of course, she replies enthusiastically, her hands clasped together in excitement. They arrive back at the quest hub where Raphael greets them with a nod. Oh, you've acquired a new party member. He notes that it might be difficult with just 2 people, but he knows Ian's formidable abilities and trusts his judgment implicitly. He gives them their updated orders. The advance unit just departed, so if they move quickly, they can catch up and provide crucial assistance. With their quest objectives updated, they prepare to leave at once. Ian glances at the quest window. The objective has changed slightly due to their delay, but the reward remains the same. What a relief! He turns to Heron to ensure she also received the updated quest. She confirms she has it. Then, shall we move on, he says, but before they can take a single step, he has one more crucial thing to do. He summons Lai, who appears in a brilliant flash of spiritual energy, startling Heron so much she jumps back with a sharp yelp. Everything's fine, he says calmly. It's my familiar, not a monster. She's visibly flustered. A familiar? She can't believe her own eyes. She stammers, slowly realizing he must be a summoner, but that class was just released. How is he already capable of doing the Goblin Camp quest? Ian gives her his well-practiced smooth excuse. I was lucky. This wolf here is truly overpowered. He tells her he levels up quickly and can take out the goblins without any hassle. He immediately regrets it. Crap, that's a terrible excuse. If he tells her he's level 25, she'll never want to party with him, but to his surprise, she seems to buy it completely. She reasons that he must have focused heavily on production skills, which explains his relatively low level. She admits cooking is a helpful skill, but laments that the game hasn't developed it enough to make full use of its potential yet. She then gazes at Lai in pure admiration. Wow, this wolf is really cool. I have never seen a wolf of this magnificent breed before. Ian smirks proudly. Heh, it's probably because he's the only one of his kind in the entire server. Does it have a name? Heron asks, intrigued. Yes, you can call him Lai, Ian answers. She coos at how cute the name sounds. She then asks if she can give him something to eat. Ian agrees, saying he'll probably devour any kind of meat. Haren's eyes sparkle with delight as she pulls out a plate holding a perfectly cooked, sizzling steak, complete with a side of vibrant vegetables. What is this? A steak with sauce. It looks utterly delicious. Ian is practically drooling, but Lai, ever the loyal familiar, gets the first magnificent bite. As Lai devours the meal with gusto, a notification flashes across Ian's screen. He's received a powerful buff. Health increased by 200 for 20 minutes. What? Ian shouts, completely stunned by the revelation. Heron asks what's wrong, a hint of concern in her voice. He explains that Lai's abilities just dramatically rose, asking if it was truly the effect of her incredible food. She confirms it with a nod. Since her cooking skill reached an advanced level, it now provides powerful buffs to whoever consumes her culinary creations. Ian's mind races, calculating rapidly. Lai's health is just shy of 1,400. An additional 200 health is a massive game-changing buff. He realizes it will be incredibly beneficial to maintain a friendly, even coddling relationship with Heron. He turns to his wolf, who's happily munching away at the steak, and yells, a hint of playful indignation in his voice. Are you happy eating that all by yourself? He turns to Heron with the most pathetic puppy dog eyes he can muster. Do you have any for me? She bluntly replies, not now. She promises to cook him an even more delicious dish after the quest is complete. Ian's feigned despair instantly turns into fierce determination. That's a promise, he declares, grabbing her by the shoulders with unyielding resolve. They finally arrive back at Somer Valley. This time, however, it's bustling with countless NPCs, the entire subjugation unit getting into formidable formation. A soldier reports to the imposing blonde, golden-armored Captain Hugo. The new mercenaries have arrived. The captain turns to Ian and Heron, welcoming them with a stern nod and declaring they'll be a huge help to the mission. With a final word of thanks, he turns back to his waiting troops. The battle is about to begin. Ian stands tall, replying with a confident salute. I'm just doing my duty, sir. He's simply glad they weren't late for the main event. He glances at the other players who have joined the quest. They all look incredibly uncomfortable. Their faces pale. Did they have a bad day or something? He shrugs it off dismissively. It's not his concern. They'll be fighting in different battles anyway. Captain Hugo stands before his assembled army, poised and ready to give the command to advance. From the darkest depths of the valley, a terrifying screech echoes, and a monstrous horde of red-eyed goblins emerges from the oppressive darkness. Captain Hugo points his gleaming sword forward with a deafening roar. Today, we will clear out all these goblins from Somer Valley once and for all. All soldiers, charge. The human forces clash violently with the surging goblin horde in a brutal melee of clanging steel and terrified screaming. Amidst the deafening chaos, Heron looks utterly terrified. Ian, will we be okay? She asks, her voice trembling uncontrollably. Everything will be fine, he reassures her with absolute confidence. Just do as we talked about. She points out, a hint of fear in her voice, that it will leave him alone on the front line. He scoffs confidently. Not if you have my back with all those potent buffs. Even just your shields will be an incredible help. His plan is deceptively simple. Heron protects herself with her powerful shields, and whenever her cooldown ends, she unleashes buffs onto him and Lai. Since her level is significantly high compared to these mere goblins, and her radiant shield skill is as potent as a level 60 player's, it's almost impossible for her to die here. In short, he's going to use Heron as his impenetrable tank. While she expertly blocks in the front, he and Lai will absorb all the attacks and, more importantly, reap all the glorious experience points. Okay, I'll trust you, Ian, Heron says, her expression firming with unwavering resolve. But Ian knows the chilling truth. If the plan fails, she could die. He gestures to his massive, formidable familiar. Instead of me, you can trust him. As long as she doesn't die, she'll still accumulate a huge amount of EXP herself. And no, he's definitely not putting her on the spot just because she gave that utterly delicious steak to Lai instead of him. Absolutely not. Suddenly, a goblin with glowing red eyes breaks from the main battle, a feral snarl on its face, and leaps directly toward them. Heron doesn't flinch. With fierce determination, she slams her staff into the ground, and a massive barrier of hexagonal shimmering light erupts around her, deflecting the charging goblin horde with ease. Ian calls out, Heron, how much mana do you have left? She replies confidently, her voice unwavering. I think I can last about 10 minutes more. Don't worry. Ian watches, genuinely impressed. She's far better than he thought. In fact, she seems completely unhampered by the relentless assault. His ingenious plan is working perfectly. Meanwhile, Lai is a whirlwind of savage claws and tearing teeth, ripping through the goblin warriors with absolute terrifying dominance. The experience points are flooding in, filling Ian's notification feed. And just like that, a cascade of satisfying notifications announces his meteoric rise. Level 26, then instantly level 27. A confident smirk spreads across Ian's face, his eyes gleaming. This is it. This is the exhilarating feeling of true power leveling. Elsewhere in the valley, another group of wary players watches the chaotic battle unfold from a safe, strategic distance. Their leader, a blonde man named Rukin, watches Ian effortlessly cleave through goblins with unnerving ease. "What's with this guy?" he mutters, intrigued. He squints, his brow furrowed, trying desperately to make sense of the scene. Ian appears to be a summoner, but his level can't possibly be high enough to be hunting here. He calls over his party members, his voice low. "What's wrong?" one of them asks, noticing his intensity. Rukin points towards Ian and Lai, who are completely dominating their section of the chaotic battlefield. "What do you think about that?" His companions are confused. They point out he's just a summoner, but that's not the real problem. A summoner needs to be at least level 40 to even consider hunting here. Yet his combat ability is undeniably that of a level 60 player. It's absolutely impossible. The summoner class was just released. He has to be level 20 at most. One of his teammates remembers seeing recent forum posts. The highest confirmed summoner was only level 17 or 18. So then, what exactly is that monstrous wolf? How could a low-level player possibly command such a beast? The white-haired man in their party has a chilling theory. Could it be an incredibly rare artifact enchanted with a powerful monster summoning spell? Rukin's eyes gleam with a wicked predatory light. "Yes," he whispers, a dangerous smile forming on his lips. "That's exactly my thought." He analyzes their fighting style with cold precision. The cleric, Heron, is fighting clumsily at close range, clearly out of her element. And Ian? He is absolutely nothing without that wolf. They're weak. The implication is chillingly clear, and his party is visibly shocked. "Are you saying that we should PK them?" one companion stammers, horrified. Rukin hushes them instantly, telling them to keep their voices down before they're overheard by anyone else. But his red-headed companion is hesitant, fear etched on his face. The penalty for player killing is severe, and what if they don't even drop valuable equipment? Rukin's face twists into a predatory, greedy sneer. "Hey, just think about it," he whispers, his voice dripping with avarice. "A summoner's artifact would sell for at least 20 million gold, split 3 ways. That's an unimaginable fortune for each of them." The others gasp, their eyes widening. 20 million gold. In real money, that's an absolutely incredible sum. Rukin presses his advantage, his voice a silken temptation. With that kind of money, they'd be set for equipment all the way to level 80. Are they really going to pass up such a golden opportunity? A wicked, triumphant smile spreads across his face as he lays out his brilliant, nefarious plan. Back in the scorching heat of battle, Lai roars, his massive form a terrifying, majestic sight as he fiercely protects Heron's impenetrable shield. Ian glances at his steady progress. He'll be level 30 soon, which means 2 special class skills are on the way. He wonders with bated breath what incredible abilities he'll acquire. He knows a crucial secret most players don't. The skills aren't random. Instead, they are a powerful continuation of your most proficient ability. And the skill he's been leveling the most is Intermediate Training, a hidden, potent, potential boosting skill. So, he'll probably get a skill related to that. As he ponders this, he casually smacks away a goblin attempting to sneak up on him from behind. The other skill will be random, but he's really hoping for something related to capturing powerful monsters. Suddenly, Heron cries out in alarm. Her shield is flickering violently, her mana supply plummeting to just 5%. Ian doesn't hesitate for a second. "Lai, go help Heron," he commands, telling her urgently to step back. With a sudden burst of incredible speed, Lai becomes a red and gray blur, charging instantly to her side. He slams into the goblins surrounding her, scattering them with devastating critical damage and clearing a swift path for her urgent retreat. Heron gently pets the massive wolf's head, thanking him profusely for the crucial save. Ian watches, a hint of annoyance flickering in his eyes. Why is that overgrown pup so incredibly friendly with Heron when he's not even that affectionate with his own master? He shakes his head, forcibly pushing the absurd thought away. First, they need to complete this critical quest. As they effortlessly clear the outer perimeter, they push deeper into the winding canyon, relentlessly advancing toward the very heart of the goblin camp. The main goblin force is gathered here, a terrifying sea of snarling, grotesque green monsters. A frantic goblin scout rushes to its leader, panting, "Kelkul, the humans came this far!" From the largest tent emerges the formidable goblin chief, Kelkul, a hulking shaman wielding a staff crafted from bone. He lets out a guttural roar, bellowing one chilling command: "Kill them all!" The chief raises his ominous staff high, gathering a swirling vortex of terrifying dark energy. He unleashes the devastating spell, a blast of pure purple lightning and malevolent shadow that rips mercilessly through the human front line, sowing chaos and destruction. Soldiers scream in agony as flames engulf their armor, the magic tearing them apart. Captain Hugo shields himself, his eyes widening in recognition. It's the chief! He lets out a mighty battle cry, his voice booming across the valley. "All soldiers, charge! The combat will end if we kill him." A system message flashes for Ian. The captain's roaring battle cry has buffed all allies, instantly boosting their morale and abilities. The human soldiers surge forward with renewed vigor, their determination blazing. This is the moment. Ian points toward the goblin leader. "Go, Lai, attack him!" Lai lets out a ferocious howl and launches himself forward, a phantom of pure destruction. The goblin chief is stunned. What is this creature? But he has no time to react. Lai is on him in an instant, a monstrous blur of fur and fangs. He slams into Kelkul with brutal force, a critical hit that sends the chieftain reeling back. Blood sprays as Lai's claws tear deep gashes, inflicting a powerful bleeding effect that drains the boss's health every second. Captain Hugo sees the opening. "Now, all focus on him," he roars, and the entire army charges. A volley of arrows and spells rains down on the wounded goblin chief. The ground explodes in a cacophony of light and fury as the full might of the subjugation unit is unleashed. But through the smoke and dust, Kelkul rises, his eyes glowing with rage. He is far from finished. He lets out a guttural scream, his body pulsing with an otherworldly energy. The air itself seems to catch fire as he prepares a devastating area of effect attack. Ian sees it coming. A wave of crimson energy erupts from the chief. "It's fear fire! Dodge!" he yells. But it's too late. His eyes widen in shock as the blast closes in. The chain explosion catches him head on, sending him flying and wiping out a huge chunk of his health. He hits the ground hard, his body racked with pain. "Ouch, this really hurts," he grits out, preparing to use an emergency aid kit. But before he can, a warm, soothing light washes over him. A massive surge of health instantly fills his bar. Huh? He looks up, utterly confused. A system notification then reveals the source. Heron just cast Healing Light. He turns to her, stunned. That was no ordinary heal. That was a high-tier priest spell. They exchange a look, a shared understanding, and a new level of trust passing between them. Ian grins. It's time for a swift counterattack. He calls to his familiar, Lai. The massive wolf, Lai, stands ready, his eyes glowing with fierce power. "Get the chief goblin's attention," Ian orders. "Don't force an attack, just distract him." As Lai lunges, Ian reaches for his back, his hand materializing a spirit bow of pure energy. He leaps atop a rock, taking aim as Lai becomes a whirlwind of attacks, drawing the chief's full attention. He pulls the glowing bowstring taut, channeling all his energy into a single, perfect arrow. His eyes narrow with absolute focus. He just needs one chance. The chief, enraged by Lai's relentless assault, unleashes another blast of dark magic. He roars, "Die!" And in that instant, a human soldier is caught in a burst of purple flame, vanishing just like that. But this is the opening Ian was waiting for. Lai faints, drawing the chief's gaze. Now Ian thinks, and the world seems to slow to a crawl. He releases the string, and the arrow flies, a streak of pure light cutting through the chaos. It soars over the heads of the charging soldiers, straight towards its target. The goblin chief looks up just in time to see the bolt of light screaming towards him. His eyes widen in shock, his animalistic roar cut short. The arrow strikes true, embedding itself right between his eyes. A blinding flash of blue energy erupts from the impact point, and the chief is frozen in place. It worked. The hulking boss dissolves into particles of light, his reign of terror finally over. The surrounding players are speechless. Did it die? Really? Then, a massive cheer erupts from the soldiers. Wow, we did it! Quest completed! A flood of notifications washes over Ian. He's slain the chief, gained a massive amount of experience, and contributed the most to the quest, earning him a huge fame bonus. And with that final push, a brilliant light envelops him. He's finally reached level 30. He's unlocked not one, but 2 special skills. Assigned skill to familiar and spatial exchange. He wonders what that could be. Before he can check, the massive figure of Captain Hugo looms over him. Great job, you're Ian, right? The captain extends a hand. We were able to raid the camp without significant damage because of you. I give you my gratitude. Ian shakes his hand, humbly replying that their success was thanks to the bravery of all the volunteers. The captain nods, wishing him a safe journey back. He then turns to his troops, raising his fist in victory. We completed the mission. We are heading back to our village. With the battle won, Ian lets out a sigh of relief, patting Lai's head. We're finally really done now. He sits down to take a breather. Now, it's time to check out the skills he just acquired. First, he checks Lai's hidden potential. It's still at 6. He wonders if spending 100 points for Lai's evolution was excessive, but quickly concludes it was undeniably worth it. Once the hidden potential reaches 20, he'll be able to assign a skill. He wants to evolve Lai again, but realistically, assigning a powerful skill first is the smarter move. He's a little disappointed he didn't get any new attack or capturing skills, but these new abilities are incredibly useful for combat. He's satisfied. Just then, Heron runs over, waving excitedly. Ian! She bows deeply. Thank you, Ian. We were able to complete the quest thanks to you. He waves off her thanks, insisting she contributed more than her fair share, but she insists. Without him, they never would have cleared it. She then turns her attention to his familiar, saying, he did more than me, really. She pets Lai, affectionately calling him Kong. She was truly surprised by his combat skills. They were amazing. Lai lets out a happy growl, nuzzling against her as she thanks him for his help. Ian watches them, a silhouette appearing behind him. Huh? User? A voice asks. He turns to see Rukin and his party approaching. What do they want? Are they here merely to introduce themselves? Rukin steps forward with a practiced smile. Nice to meet you. I'm Rukin. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself during the quest. Ian shakes his offered hand. I'm Ian. Nice to meet you too. Rukin gets straight to the point. Hey Ian, would you be interested in starting another quest with us? A quest? Rukin explains they know about a hidden quest related to the one they just finished. Ian's mind clicks. This must be the Goblin High Priest quest, which he was already considering now that he's leveled up. But something feels off. By the looks of it, they are all over level 50. Why would they need his help? The level gap is simply too vast for them to benefit. He puts on a curious face. Oh, there's a connecting hidden quest. He has a bad feeling about this, but decides to dig deeper. Rukin explains that there's a tunnel behind the barracks where a high priest is waiting. All they have to do is slay him. He then lays his cards on the table. I saw your combat and it seemed like you have a strong summoner's artifact. If you join us, we'll complete this quest in no time. Artifact? A sinister smile creeps onto Ian's face as it all becomes clear. So that's it. They think he summoned Lai with an expensive artifact and they plan to ambush him and sell it for a huge haul. He turns back to them, his expression unreadable. I see. Okay. His mind is already racing, formulating a counterplan. The group heads towards the back of the now empty goblin camp. Ian discreetly opens a private message window. Hey Heron, he types. Her avatar pops up in response. Hey Ian. She asks why he's messaging her instead of just talking. He tells her to wait a moment. He turns to Rukin. I really like the offer, but I have to ask my party member first. Can you give me a moment? Rukin agrees with a sly grin, confident his prey is taking the bait. Yes, of course. Ian turns to Heron, asking out loud what she thinks of the offer, but his true message is being sent privately. Over the private channel, he's blunt. Heron, I think they are trying to PK us. She's shocked. What? PK us? He explains their plan to kill them during the priest quest. To be exact, they'll try to kill him, not us. She asks what they should do. Ian's chibi avatar gives a sly grin. Just say yes to what I asked you just now. Haran turns back to the group, her face a mask of innocence. Sure, there's no reason to reject the offer since you'll share the hidden quest with us. Rukin's grin widens. Great, he exclaims, thinking to himself, these fools. Ian gives Haran a subtle look and she understands. He messages her again. So what's the plan? His reply is simple and confident. Don't worry, I already have something in mind. A dangerous glint appears in Ian's eyes. They've picked a fight with the wrong player. Meanwhile, on a serene clifftop far away, another player is enjoying the sunset. He stretches, exclaiming, "The fresh air of Kalan is always so refreshing." He can barely believe this is virtual reality. The scientists who created it are truly amazing. It's Ian's professor, Hers. He decides he'll have to convince his hiking club to hold their next meeting here in Kailane. He pulls out a roll of kimbap. There you are. He takes a big bite. It's not a hike without a delicious snack. Then he remembers something. "Wolfie, summon," he calls out, and a magic circle appears. A spirit wolf materializes beside him. The wolf lets out a long howl, which apparently it does every time it's summoned. Hers offers his familiar a massive leg of meat. As the wolf happily gnaws on the bone, the professor sighs contentedly. It's so relaxing up here. His thoughts drift. He must be playing this game right now too, right? What was his name, Park Jin-sung? That's Ian's real name. He frowns, wondering what job his troublesome student picked. He just prays it's not the summoner class. There's no way, right? Back in the dark caves, Ian's party ventures deeper into the tunnel. They fight their way through waves of goblins, Rukin's group taking the lead. Rukin's mind is on his devious plan. He can finally see the end of the quest. The hidden boss is about to appear. He imagines it perfectly. While Ian and Heron are busy with the boss, his group will pretend to help, then backstab them and take everything. He can almost see himself standing on a mountain of gold, a priceless artifact in his hand. A huge, greedy grin stretches across his face. He's so lost in his fantasy that Ian comments on it. Look at how he's smiling. Can't you at least put on a poker face? Ian sends another message to Heron. The boss will come out soon. She asks what they should do. Ian looks ahead at a cage-like structure. He explains that the area is a trap. The moment someone steps inside, the boss will appear and steel bars will seal the entrance. His instructions are simple. They will follow from behind, and when he gives the signal, she needs to jump back fast. He gives Lai a silent command to attack, keeping them busy. Lai roars, tearing into the remaining goblins with renewed ferocity. Rukin suggests they pick up the pace. Eager to spring his trap, Ian readily agrees. Rukin smirks to himself. This idiot really doesn't have a clue. Everything is going exactly as planned. But Ian is one step ahead, a wry smile on his face. That snake. He knows exactly what Rukin is thinking. Rukin points ahead to the caged arena. Hey, Ian, the High Priest and 2 berserkers will appear over there. Now, let's all move in. Ian nods. Okay, Lai, you take the lead. The massive wolf pads forward, leading the unsuspecting party right into the trap. Ian begins his countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, it's now. At the last possible second, Ian grabs Heron's wrist. He yanks her backwards in a burst of speed, just as Rukin's party crosses the threshold. A thunderous crash echoes through the cave as heavy steel bars slam down from the ceiling, sealing the entrance. Rukin and his party spin around, their faces a perfect picture of shock. Ian! Heron! What are you doing? Why didn't you come in? Ian leans against the bars with a condescending smirk. Haha. Why? Are you really asking me why? He points at Rukin. I know that you are going to PK us and steal my summoner's artifact. Rukin's face goes pale. How? How did he know? Ian waves goodbye. So there's no reason for me to play along with your plan. You 3 have fun in there. Rukin grabs the bars, his face contorted with rage. You idiot! You don't understand anything. You can't escape from here. He explains the quest rules. No one can leave until the boss is dead or the entire party is wiped out. Rukin sneers, confident he still holds the upper hand. They'll just slay the boss, and once the bars lift, it will be Ian's funeral. Ian just laughs. Haha, thanks for the warning. Then his face turns cold. He points past the bars. Lie, bite! His familiar lunges, sinking its teeth into the white-haired player, whose health bar plummets from a single critical hit. The others scream in shock as Lai tears into their companion, inflicting a bleeding wound. The hunters have just become the hunted. Rukin can only grit his teeth in a snarl of pure disbelief. And then with a smirk, Ian snaps his fingers, calmly saying, "Summon cancel." Lai vanishes in a flash of light just as a dark, menacing aura erupts from the center of the arena. Rukin freezes. What? No way! This absolute monster! He's seething, realizing he's been completely played. From the swirling purple mist, the hulking shapes of the goblin bosses emerge, their eyes glowing with malevolent red light. Rukin can only curse, "This crazy dog," as he's now trapped with them. But from the safety of the other side of the bars, Ian just smirks, once again canceling his summon. The wolf is gone, and Rukin is left staring at the approaching horde, a growl rumbling in his throat. "This fucker!" He glares at Ian, his face a mask of pure fury. The goblin bosses, a high priest and 2 giant berserkers, are now fully summoned and ready for a fight. Rukin rattles the bars, screaming, "Do you think we won't be able to kill the boss because of that? After we're done here, you're next." Ian just sits down, resting his head on his hand with a bored expression. "Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to." Rukin's fury intensifies, his knuckles white as he grips the bars. This utter bastard! A notification chimes, the quest boss has been summoned. The 3 towering goblins advance, their heavy axes and enchanted staff ready to bring ruin. Rukin turns to his party, drawing his sword. "Let's take care of these boss monsters first. That fucker is next." His party members nod, ready for the fight of their lives. The blonde warrior glares back through the bars. "Let's see if you can stay calm like that later." Ian just scoffs, a confident grin on his face. Has any third-rate villain actually succeeded after saying that line? Harin watches the unfolding chaos with a worried expression. She turns to Ian. "Will they be fine?" Ian's grin widens into a devilish smile. "If you're worried, you should help them." Her eyes widen in confusion. Help? The battle inside the cage is fierce. Rukin's party struggles to hold their ground against the overwhelming power of the goblin bosses. Steel clashes against steel as they desperately parry the heavy blows from the monstrous creatures. The female warrior engages one of the berserkers, her sword glowing with power as she blocks a crushing overhead swing. Rukin himself tanks a blow on his shield, the impact nearly sending him flying backwards. He roars, pushing back and slicing into the goblin's side with all his might. But their efforts are futile. The goblin high priest begins chanting, green magical energy swirling around his staff as he prepares a powerful spell. Rukin's white-haired companion sees the danger. "We need to catch the high priest before he finishes his spell." Rukin replies, "Leave it to me." The spearman launches his weapon, a bolt of pure energy hurtling through the air. It strikes the high priest dead on, interrupting his incantation with a pained grunt. Rukin smirks with confidence. He's got this. This much should be doable. He roars, unleashing a skill of his own, Barbarian's Blessing. But just as his buff activates, the corrupt goblin berserkers begin to glow with a dark, sinister energy, their attack power rising by a staggering 35%. Harin stands outside the cage, her staff glowing with a radiant blue light. Rukin looks on in confusion. What is this? She's casting a spell on the monsters. You crazy bastards, you buffed the monsters? He screams in pure terror. Ian looks over at her, completely unfazed. While you're at it, can you bless their strength too? Let's heal them a bunch. Harin's face lights up with a wicked smile, a stark contrast to her usual gentle demeanor. Shall I? She asks, channeling even more power. Rukin's party can only watch in absolute horror, their faces pale and their mouths agape. No, please, God, please, no. But their pleas are ignored. The overpowered goblins overwhelm them in seconds. A bright red quest fail notification pops up as they fall, defeated. Later that night, Ian and Harin are back in the city. Harin sits atop the majestic Lie, a contented look on her face as they walk through the quiet streets. Ian holds up a glowing system window, grinning. Those fools left behind some pretty nice items. He turns to Harin. Now, let's go to the auction house and sell these. She smiles back warmly. Thanks, Ian. Because of you, we were able to clear the quest, and got pretty valuable loot, too. Ian chuckles. Don't mention it. You did well too, Harin, but who knew that High Priest would drop such an expensive necklace? He remembers her gleefully buffing the monsters and smirks to himself. He didn't know Harin would enjoy it that much. But hey, what's good is good. Harin looks at him, confused by his sudden silence, but Ian just waves it off. Hey, let's go now. He leads the way, Lie padding along behind him, their destination, the auction house. Upon arriving at the grand building, they quickly get to business. A heavy sack of gold is placed on the counter. Here's the pay. Ian's eyes light up as a notification appears. Acquired 660,000 gold. He knew it. They sold for a ton. He calculates in his head. After the auction house commission, that's a massive profit. But as he's sorting through his inventory, his thoughts drift. Anyways, he pulls out a strange looking rock. What's this? It's one of the items that the PK guys dropped. It's warm to the touch. Maybe it's a hot pack for winter? The item description is just unknown. He considers tossing it, but it feels bad to just throw it away. Just then, Heron returns, waving a bag of groceries. Ian, I bought all the groceries for dinner. Ian smiles. Ah, Heron. Well then, let's head off and finish up for the day. With their business concluded, they head back out into the city night. They arrive at the Vigilante Corps headquarters, where the commander greets them. Oh, Ian, welcome. Your contribution was quite astonishing. Ian flashes a confident grin, checking his quest reward. The gold is excellent, but the experience points are truly phenomenal. Heron winks at him. Hey, Ian, I leveled up. I'm level 46 now. Ian congratulates her warmly, his own experience bar having skyrocketed. Then he turns to the commander. Ah, right. By the way, Commander. The man inquires about his query. Ian proudly presents the necklace he looted from the Goblin High Priest. I actually met him behind the barracks. The commander's eyes stretch wide in pure amazement. Oh, look at this! So you were able to slay the High Priest Goblin. This is incredible. Another quest triumphantly completed. Ian's grin morphs into something positively feral. Nice! I leveled up again. The experience just floods in. The commander is utterly impressed. The Vigilante Corps searched for him for months. How did you find him? Ian simply shrugs. I was just lucky. But the commander shakes his head, dismissing his humility. No, it can't be just luck. He turns, reaching for a rolled up scroll. You are worthy to receive this. Ian's eyes instantly widen as he truly sees the item. This is... A brilliant golden light erupts from the scroll as he grasps it. The commander smiles, a knowing glint in his eyes. If it's you, you're worthy of receiving this. Ian stares, a powerful surge of excitement thrumming through him. The light slowly dissipates, revealing the formidable official-looking document. He instantly comprehends what it is, the ultimate quest completion reward. The commander details its purpose, a recommendation to participate in the Lucifer Kingdom's mercenary examination held within the city of Moran. Ian accepts it with profound gratitude. Thank you very much, Commander. I will definitely take the examination. He makes a mental note. He must remember this when he eventually travels to Moran. Next, the commander presents another scroll to Heron, urging her to dedicate her strength to the kingdom's glorious future. Heron, clutching her own recommendation, asks Ian if he understands its meaning. He clarifies that it's for the Mercenaries Guild exam. Ian then imparts a quick lesson on the game's rich lore, elucidating that the world of Kalen spans 5 great continents, with kingdoms named after legendary national heroes. He muses to himself, there truly isn't a compelling reason for him to venture to Moran before reaching level 50. Heron then queries about the exam's benefits. Ian reveals that passing it makes acquiring quests from NPCs significantly easier. Furthermore, it grants a rank tag based on combat prowess, bestowing all sorts of invaluable benefits. But Heron shakes her head definitively. Well, I'm going to be just cooking for a while, so I don't think I'll be needing anything. Cooking? She nods emphatically. She intends to train her cooking skills until the main questline bursts open once more. Ian ponders. For Heron, cooking truly seems to be the most paramount thing in the entire world. He is absolutely certain her cooking level must rank among the top. The mere fact that her food boosted Lai's stats stands as undeniable proof. He's never even encountered tales of anyone receiving stat buffs from a cooked dish on any community forum. He resolves to ask her directly about her proficiency level. She replies that it's no secret. She proudly declares, it's high class level 1. Ian is utterly stunned. Even for a popular production class like Blacksmith, the highest he's ever heard of is high rank level 3. To achieve that level with such an unpopular cooking class, Heron must be an absolute ranker, a true culinary prodigy. He gives her a vigorous thumbs up. You're truly amazing, Heron. Flattered, she beams with joy. If you need my help, don't hesitate to ask me. You better keep your word. Ian grins back, a genuine smile spreading across his face. Of course, there's no doubt. He instantly hopes he hasn't said anything amiss. Just then, a notification blazes across his vision. Hareen has sent him a friend request. He accepts it without hesitation. "I'll add you as a friend right away." As they prepare to part ways, Heron abruptly stops him. "Ian, this is a present for you." She extends a small box. "I made this while I was waiting for you." The commander observes, a slight flush of fluster on his face at the tender moment. Ian tears open the box and his jaw practically hits the floor. Inside lies a perfectly cooked, utterly delicious looking steak. As expected, Heron was an angel. Harren blushes fiercely, hoping he doesn't misinterpret her gesture. He assures her he'll devour it happily, which brings a radiant smile to her face. It's truly nothing compared to how much he's aided her. She winks mischievously and bids her goodbyes. She's been online for far too long and urgently needs to log off. Ian waves as her avatar shimmeringly dissolves into a cascade of light particles. He checks the time. A full 5 hours remain until he needs to sleep. He's leveled up dramatically faster than he ever anticipated. Surely he deserves a magnificent reward. Perhaps a grand order of chicken? With this thrilling new goal firmly etched in his mind, he immediately sets off. He and Lai thunder across a vast, barren desert, kicking up immense clouds of dust. "Let's go, Lai!" Ian bellows, his cape whipping wildly in the fierce wind. He urgently spurs his familiar onward. "Faster! We're running out of time!" He grits his teeth in pure frustration. Crap! The chicken delivery is taking an eternity. He spots his desperate destination looming in the distance, a bustling port city. "Over there, Lai. Head to the dock." They race furiously towards the harbor. Ian then shouts to his other familiar, "Kong, I'll lead the way." But a sudden jolt of panic strikes him. It's been so long, he can't quite recall the exact route. He finally spots the ship, already poised to depart from the dock. "Right there. Lai, you just have to head over there." Yet, it's swiftly pulling away from the pier, its tattered sails greedily catching the wind. "Oh no, the boat! No! I absolutely must get on." He pushes Lai to an even more blistering pace, their paws pounding relentlessly against the wooden pier. "Run for it, Lai, we cannot let it escape." With a final, utterly desperate burst of speed, Lai launches himself. The magnificent wolf soars gracefully through the air in a breathtaking arc. The ship's astonished crew watches from the railing, their mouths gaping wide in utter shock. "Over there!" But as they sail over the water, Ian's heart plummets. The gap is simply too wide. "Ah, it's too far." He tumbles from Lai's back, plummeting savagely towards the churning waves. But this, of course, is all part of his intricate plan. Mid-air, he instantly dismisses his familiar. Summon cancel. Lai vanishes in a faint wisp of blue light. His momentum carries him forward, his boots hitting the ship's sturdy deck with a solid, echoing thud. He stumbles, but quickly catches his balance, exhaling a profound sigh of relief. "Phew, I barely made it on." He turns to find the entire crew gaping at him, their faces a perfect tableau of utter astonishment. He offers them an awkward, sheepish smile and a hesitant wave. "Ah, what magnificent weather! Haha." He surveys the dilapidated ship. He simply cannot get accustomed to this wretched vessel. Can't they acquire a superior one? Just then, a voice from behind him crisply states, "Hello?" A tall man with long blonde hair asks, "Are you perhaps a summoner?" Ian whirls around to face a full party of 4 players standing directly before him. His guard instantly shoots up. "Yeah, that's right, but why do you ask?" he replies, his eyes narrowing sharply. A truly sinister grin unfurls across the blonde man's face. "Ah, I knew it." Ian quickly appraises the situation. Scanning his surroundings, he realizes they are the only other players on the entire vessel. The atmosphere suddenly darkens, and their eyes begin to blaze with an ominous red light. Is this perhaps? He grips the hilt of his weapon, bracing himself for an imminent fight. His mind races, a chilling realization dawning on him. It's just PK? A player kill attempt right here? But then the intense tension shatters into a million pieces as the party rushes forward, their eyes sparkling with pure adoration. They're not hostile, they're utterly devoted fans. They gush uncontrollably over how incredibly cool Lai is. Ian exhales a massive sigh of profound relief. It was all a grand misunderstanding. It seems they simply took a liking to Lai. He had been on guard for absolutely no reason. The ship relentlessly continues its voyage across the vast open sea. Ian leans against the railing, striking up a casual conversation. "Are you all heading to the island of the depth for a quest?" The blonde knight, Carwin, confirms it. The two mages in their party are pursuing an ice magic quest. One of the mages then inquires if Ian is also venturing there for a quest, wondering if a summoner's quest exists. Carwin apologizes for her burning curiosity. He elucidates that he's intensely interested in the summoner class because a friend of his is leveling up at an astonishing pace as one. He then drops a bombshell, mentioning something that seizes Ian's full, undivided attention. His friend recently discovered a familiar's egg. A familiar's egg? Ian has never heard of such an extraordinary thing. What is that? Carwin clarifies they unearthed it in a golden owl's nest, but it has yet to hatch. Ian's mind begins to race at a terrifying speed. A familiar's egg. If it allows him to acquire untamable boss monsters, it could utterly revolutionize the game. Their destination finally bursts into view on the horizon, a massive frozen mountain range, brutally piercing the very clouds. The island of the Depth is a desolate land of sheer ice cliffs and merciless biting winds. As the ship dramatically docks, Ian and Lai stand proudly at the prow, gazing out at the vast frozen wasteland. "We've arrived at the island of the Depth," Ian announces with a determined, triumphant smirk. The ancient rickety boat finally pulls up to a makeshift dock crudely carved directly out of the ice. A bone-chilling wave of frigid air instantly washes over them the moment they step off the ship, seizing them in its icy grip. The other party shivers violently, their teeth chattering. It's their first time here and it's incomprehensibly cold. They're absolutely convinced they'll freeze to death. Ian shivers too, hugging himself tightly for warmth. He's certainly been here before, yet it remains an enigmatic place. He wonders if he should have donned more layers as Lai lets out a truly monumental sneeze beside him. Carwin's party waves a final goodbye. "Good luck on your quest," they enthusiastically shout. "Let's meet again too, Wolf." With a last decisive wave, Ian turns to fully face the daunting icy peaks. Shall we also get going? They venture even deeper into the island's frozen heart, where hordes of hulking ice golems relentlessly roam. They ascend to a high vantage point overlooking the entire vast area. "Nice, I found an exceptional hunting ground." He hops nimbly off Lai's back. "Shall we start getting to work? Let's first prepare ourselves." He reaches into his satchel with anticipation. "Let's see, where's the delectable lunch that Heron gave me?" He pulls out a bizarre-looking meatball and eagerly offers it to Lai, whose eyes instantly widen with overwhelming excitement. The wolf ravenously gobbles it down, and immediately a brilliant blue aura explodes around him, dramatically boosting his health and dexterity for a full 40 minutes. Ian is utterly impressed. Not only did the duration miraculously double, but it also astonishingly boosted dexterity this time. He briefly considers trying one himself, but the overwhelming stench of raw meat is so potent he nearly gags violently. A sudden memory of Haran pointedly telling him the food was solely for Lai flashes vividly in his mind, so that's the crucial detail. It's strictly familiar only food. He pulls out the gorgeously cooked steak instead. "Then I'm gonna devour this." The very moment he takes a bite, his eyes gleam with delight. Wow, simply delicious. It's so unbelievably good he obliterates the entire thing in mere seconds, feeling profoundly satisfied. A system notification instantly manifests. He inspects the effects. As expected, they are vastly superior to the meatballs. But wait, his attributes, they increase permanently? He frantically opens his status window to unequivocally confirm. It's absolutely true. A staggering total of 7 different stats increased by 3 points each. That's an astonishing 21 stat points. If he were to convert this to levels, it would be equivalent to leveling up 4 entire times. Heron is truly a miraculous genius. A subtly devious thought slithers across his mind. He absolutely must leverage Heron to acquire more of this incredible food. Fully buffed, supremely potent, and utterly ready for battle, he turns to Lai. "Alright, let's go seize a hunk of ice." Meanwhile, back in the sprawling Lucipole Kingdom at the central fountain, 3 wretched figures materialize in a searing flash of blue light. It's Rukin's humiliated party, freshly respawned after their utterly devastating defeat. They've tragically lost all their precious equipment and are now forlornly slumped on the street like destitute vagrants. They are absolutely beside themselves, consumed by a volcanic rage and soul-crushing despair. Rukin screams in raw anguish, lamenting the irreversible loss of his exorbitantly expensive armor and unique rare necklace. He couldn't unequip anything. He lost everything. He clenches his fists until his knuckles whiten, his face a contorted mask of pure fury. He vehemently vows vengeance on those bastards who mercilessly PK'd them, utterly convinced that if not for their treacherous trap, they would have been the undisputed victors.